If you're a streamer or would like to record your screen, OBS is one of the best tools for that, and it does way more. My name is Abdullah, you're watching Candid.Technology, and in this video we're talking about how you can remove your background from a video camera feed with little to no effort. All it takes is just one plugin. So the plugin that I'm talking about is this one. It's called Background Removal Green Screen and Low Light Enhance plugin. It's available for free to download. I'll leave a link in the description below. And that is it. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to click this go to download button, and this will take you to GitHub page. All right, now this works for every PC. So whether you have Linux, whether you have Windows, whether you have Mac, this will work. This will also work regardless of whether you have a GPU or not. So as you can see in the description, it does not require a GPU and it works in all operating systems. So which is pretty good. Of course, it's recommended that you have a GPU, but if you don't and still want to use it, by all means go ahead. So here are all the downloads. I am on Windows, so I'm just going to go ahead with the Windows installer. You can use the Linux ones right here or the macOS Universal package, or you can just look at the source code. It's an open source thing, so if you're worried about security, knock yourself out. So let's just click on this installer, and I'm just going to save it on a dump folder right here. It's a 67 MB download and it's complete. Great. So let me just quickly open up my dump folder. This is the executable file that we are looking for. Double click this and the setup process should start after you give it the permissions that it needs. All right. So one thing to keep in mind when you're installing plugins in OBS is that if you have changed the way the default location where OBS has been installed, you're going to have to come here and update that you have to update this path if you have changed the OBS install location. For me, it's just installed in the default one, so I can just go ahead and click next, click install, and the installation will start. It only takes like a minute to complete. So as you can see, this has already been installed. I can click finish, and that's it. We're ready to hop into OBS. So let me launch a new OBS instance because I'm using one to record this video right now. We'll give it a minute to open up, and let me just go to another screen recording video. Yeah, so right now, as you can see, I have my monitor on the screen. Let me disable it so that it's better to look at. All right, let's go ahead and add a camera input. So to do that, just click on this plus icon and find the video capture device input. Right there, we'll just name it test cam and click OK. Now this will ask you what webcam you want to use. I am already using the EOS webcam utility to hook up my DSLR to this recording. So I will go ahead and use the camera from my laptop right now. So yeah, as you can see the whole room here. Everything is there. Let's go ahead and click OK. So this is not a great video feed. To give you an example, the video feed that you're seeing in the top left corner of this video, that is a good video feed. That is where it will work perfectly. But if you're on a video feed like this and you're angled towards the camera, then it's not going to work as good as it would. There's also a lot of light coming in from that window behind me, which means there's going to be a fair amount of clipping, but the plugin itself should work regardless. So let's go ahead and select your source for the test cam, and then go ahead and click on filters. Now under effect filters, we'll click on this plus icon, and now you will see this background removal tool right here. So go ahead and click on it. We'll just call it background removal, and there it is. As you can see, this is already working. It's already cropping out a lot of the background, so I can move my hands and it catches up, but it's not very good. As you can see, my face is cut off and there's like a bunch of clipping. So click on this advanced settings box to enable this, and this is where we can really fine tune this plugin to work according to us. So the first thing that we're going to adjust is this threshold. Now, if you drop it all the way back to 0, the whole frame will come into view, and if you get it all the way up, it will just make the effect too harsh and you won't be able to see like my hands moving around and stuff like that. So the key is to find a balance in every setting that you're using. Around 0.15 seems fine because I can see my whole face, and as I move around it tracks me sort of fine. So it's right there. Next up is contour filter percent of image. So this is essentially how much of the whole image you want inside of whatever cutout OBS renders or the plugin renders. So once again, if you push it all the way to the max, you will see the whole image, and then if I bring it back a little, then the image gets cropped. So find a balance in this. Smooth silhouette is also it works across the edges of your image. So wait, if you see these edges, they are really pixelated now, but if I boost it all the way to the right, then these image silhouette becomes like very smooth. So we'll go and find something of a balance. So I'll just leave it at 0.5, and then this is the feather blend, so how blurry the silhouette essentially is. So I can drop it down a little, and this looks slightly better. So now this is the interference device. I don't know why the developer chose to call it that, but this is essentially if the plugin is running on your GPU or on your CPU. If you don't have a GPU, you'll of course be working with a CPU, but it's really recommended that you have a GPU, at least an RTX 20 series or above. So you can go ahead with GPU if you have one, or CPU if you have that, and then it's the number of CPU threads that you dedicate to this plugin. I really recommend not going above 2 at best. If you have a really good CPU, you can push it higher, but for most people 1 or 2 is going to be enough. Then is your segmentation model. So this is the model that the plugin chooses to cut out your face. So if I change to, let's say, selfie, now my chair is also in the background, and this works slightly better for cutouts like this. Your hands might not be in the frame as much, but everything else will look better. Media pipe is just the best as long as it comes to resource usage, so it really strikes a balance there. But you can of course play around with these, and then you can play around with the settings that we talked about here to get the best result possible. Alright, now then there is temporal smooth factor. So this is essentially how smooth your edges are. It's kind of different from these settings, the silhouette and the feather blend, because this works directly with the model that you're using and not with whatever the final image that the plugin is generating. We'll come down, and then you have this threshold. So the higher this setting is, the more sensitive the plugin will be to where your hands or where your skin is. The lower it is, it's essentially going to become a fixed image at that point. So it's not just going to move. If I get my hand out, or even if I go completely out of the frame, you see that the threshold is not moving at all. If I change it a little, you can see that there is now movement. So you can fine tune with this. And then the blur background, as you can probably guess, is for blurring your background. If you want the background to remain in place and you don't want to move anything, you don't want to remove it like this, you just want to have the background in place and you just want to blur it, you can choose the setting. And then there's this focal blur setting that you can use to get like a depth of field effect if you want. So that is one way actually of removing the background in OBS. If you have an RTX 20 series or higher GPU, you can also use another filter which is called the Nvidia background removal filter. So I'll just bring this one in and I'll hide this filter. So the way this works is that it doesn't work on my system for some reason. I don't know how to get it to work. I can change performance, I can drop down the threshold, I can increase this frequency. Whatever I do, I just haven't been able to get it to work. So I have resorted to using the background removal filter that I just showed you. But if the background removal from Nvidia works for you, chances are it will work slightly better than anything else that you'd be using. And that's pretty much it. Once you're done setting all of this up, you can go ahead and close it. And now as you can see, I have my background removed. So if I, let's say, go ahead and enable my screen, you can see now that I am overlaid on the screen itself. And this is how it looks. So this is how my stream appears, or my screen appears at the moment. I have my whole screen and then I have myself in the corner. Of course, you can resize, rotate and do whatever you want with this. And that's how easy it is to remove background from your OBS recordings or streams. If you like this video, consider subscribing, give us a thumbs up, press the bell icon and tell us in the comments below what more such videos can we make for you. If you'd like to know more about tech, visit our website Candid.Technology, follow us on social media, follow me on Instagram or Twitter, and we'll see you in the next video.